Hello students. Yesterday we discussed about the how to calculate the fundamental particles. Now we are going to discussing about how to calculate the gram molecular weights. How to calculate the gram molecular weights. Because these gram molecular weights are very necessary thing to solve the problems like molarity, normalities, molarities, all these problems requires gram molecular weights, molar masses. So we will discuss a very simple thing. This is not a big thing. It is a very simple thing. We will solve one of the thing. First, you remember this thing. Molecules are formed by the combination of atoms. Molecules are formed by the combination of atoms. We get molecular weights. We get molecular weights by the addition of atomic weights. We get the molecular weights by the summation of atomic weights. We get the molecular weight by the addition of atomic weights. Suppose I am taking a simple example. I am taking sodium carbonate. I am taking sodium carbonate. We have to calculate the molecular weight of this sodium carbonate. Gram molecular weight of this one, how much? In sodium carbonate, how many sodiums are there? 2 sodiums are there. How many carbons are there? 1 carbon is there. How many oxygens are there? 3 oxygens are there. If you add the atomic weight, you will get the molecular weight. Each sodium atomic weight is 23. If you don't know, go for the first class, you will see the atomic weights of all these elements. What is the atomic weight of sodium? Each sodium atomic weight is 23. So 2 into 23 plus each carbon atomic weight is 12. 1 into 12. Each oxygen atomic weight is 16. 3 into 16. Add all these things. 46 plus 12 plus 48. We will get 106. This 106 is the gram molecular weight of sodium carbonate. 106 is the gram molecular weight of sodium carbonate. So very simple thing. We will go for another one. H2SO4. So find out the gram molecular weight of sulfuric acid. So how many hydrogens are there in H2SO4? 2 hydrogens. How many sulfurs are there in H2SO4? 1 sulfur. How many oxygens are there? 4 oxygens. Just substitute the atomic weights. Each hydrogen atomic weight is 1. 2 into 1 plus each sulfur atomic weight is 32. 1 into 32. Each oxygen atomic weight is 60. 4 into 60. So 2 plus 32 plus 64. 98. We will look at another HCl. In HCl, how many hydrogens are there? Only 1 hydrogen. How many chlorines are there? Only 1 chlorine. Substitute the atomic weights. 1 into 1 plus 1 into chlorine atomic weight is 35.5. You will get 36.5. That's it. Okay, we will do some more examples of these things. Calcium hydroxide, CaOH twice. How many calciums are there? Only one calcium. How many oxygens are there? Two oxygens. How many hydrogens are there? Two hydrogens. Substitute the atomic weight. Calcium atomic weight is 40. Oxygen atomic weight is 60. Hydrogen atomic weight is 1. So 40 plus 32 plus 2. Total how much? 74. We'll look at another example. Ca3PO4 twice calcium phosphate. Ca3PO4 twice. Here, how many calciums are there? 3 calciums. How many phosphorus are there? 2 phosphorus. How many oxygens are there? 4 to 8 oxygens. 3 into 40. Atomic weight of calcium is 40. 2 into phosphorus 31. 8 into 60. So like that you have to calculate the gram molecular weight of substances. Okay, now I am going to give you some work. So I will write some molecules. You practice the gram molecular weights. CH3, COOH, NaOH, NH3, SO2, SO3, Cl2, O2, N2, CH4, C2, H6, NaCl, CaCl2, KCl, K2SO4, MgCl2, NaHCO3. So if you practice all these things, it becomes very easy to calculate the gram molecular weights. And the next important basic concept is writing the electronic configurations. About this thing, some of the books does not have the how to write the electronic configurations. Some of the boards have the writing the electronic configuration topics. In CBSE, they write the electronic configuration based on boards model. In state boards, I think in state boards or in other boards, you have the this topic writing the electronic configuration. For that, I am again going through this electronic configuration writing. While going to the writing the electronic configuration, we have to look at some of the concepts about this thing, how to write, how many, what are shells, in shells which one are present, in that thing which one is present, all those things we will going to discuss. Electronic configurations. Electronic configuration of elements. We are going briefly studying about this thing. Take a first shell. Take first shell. So electrons are, so first we will look at what is this electronic configuration. Electronic configuration is nothing but arrangement of electrons. Electronic configuration is nothing but arrangement of electrons in different shells, in different sub-energy levels and in different orbitals. So what is the electronic configuration? Electronic configuration is the expression, it is the expression how electrons are arranged in shells, in sub-energy levels and in orbitals. So you have to express how these electrons are arranged in shell, in sub-energy levels and in orbitals. For that, I am going to write shells, sub-energy levels and orbitals. So first I am taking a shell, that is the first shell. This first shell contains only one sub-energy level and that sub-energy level is S. Second shell contains two sub-energy levels, they are S and P. Third shell contains three sub-energy levels, they are S, P and D. Fourth shell contains four sub-energy levels, S, P, D and F. S sub-energy level contains only one orbital. This is S sub-energy level. This is S and P sub-energy level. SPD sub-energy level, SPDF sub-energy level. So S sub-energy level contains only one orbital. P sub-energy level contains three orbitals. D sub-energy level contains five orbitals. F sub-energy level contains seven orbitals. You remember that one? After that, in a S sub-energy level, maximum electrons are only two. So in a S sub-energy level, how many maximum number of electrons can you put? This is the maximum number. You can put one electron also, but the maximum is only 2. In a p sub-energy level, maximum number of electrons are 6 electrons. In a d sub-energy level, maximum number of electrons are 10 electrons. In a f sub-energy level, maximum number of electrons are 14 electrons. So how many electrons how many maximum number of electrons can you accommodate in a S sub-energy level? Only 2 electrons. How many maximum number of electrons can you put in an P sub-energy level? 6 electrons. How many maximum number of electrons can you put in a D sub-energy level? 10 electrons. How many maximum number of electrons can you put in F sub-energy level? 14 electrons. So this is you have to remember all these things while writing the electronic configurations. Okay. Next. And the next scenario is, while writing the electronic configurations, you have to follow some rules. While writing the electronic configuration, you have to follow some rules. Those rules are Aufbau principle, Hund's rule, or you can call it as Hund's rule. And the next one is Pauli's exclusion principle. Aufbau principle, Hund's rule, and Pauli's exclusion principle. So you have to follow these 3 rules. You have to follow these 3 rules: Aufbau principle, Hund's rules, and Pauli's exclusion principle. And the next point you have to remember is to write this electronic configuration. These electronic configurations are written in NLX form. All these electronic configurations are written in NLX form. Electronic configurations are written in NLX form. This N represents shell. N represents the shell, means 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. L represents the sub-energy levels. L represents sub-energy levels. Which one are the sub-energy levels? S, P, D, F. These are the sub-energy levels. S, P, D, F are the sub-energy levels. X are the number of electrons. X are the number of electrons. So the electronic configurations must be expressed in NLX method. N is the shell number, L is the sub-energy level, X is the number of electrons. So this is about the expression of electronic configuration. Now we are going for these 3 principles. After going through these 3 principles, we will try to write the electronic configuration of different elements. Can I clear this? I'm clearing this thing also. So first look at the Auger principle. What is this Auger principle? Electrons first enter into lower energy orbitals. After that, they enter into higher energy orbitals. So electrons first enters into lower energy orbitals. After that, they enter into higher energy orbitals. Now we have the doubt. So which orbitals have less energy and which orbitals have more energy? If you know that one, then you can place the electrons in those orbitals. What this rule is saying, electrons are first entering into lower energy orbitals. So after completion filling of that lower energy orbitals, then electrons are going to enter into higher energy orbitals. The first task is you have to identify the which one have the lowest energy, which is the lowest energy orbital. If you know that one, then you can place the electron on that lower energy orbital. So to find out the energy of orbitals, follow the n plus l rule. To find or to know energy of orbitals, to know energy of orbitals, use n plus l rule. Use n plus l rule. So what is this n plus l rule? Before going to the n plus l rule, to find out this the energy levels of different orbitals, we will go through Euler's diagram, which will provide us energy levels of different orbitals without going through this n plus l rule. So without going through this n plus l rule, we can find out easily by using Euler's diagram. After that, I will show you what is this n plus l rule, how to calculate the value of this n plus l, all those things. First, look at this Euler's diagram, and it becomes very easy to find out the energy levels of different orbitals. What I said, you write down the orbitals in different shells. In first shell, which sub-energy level is present? Only one sub-energy level is present, and that one is 1s. Take the second shell. In second shell, what are the sub-energy levels? S and P. That means 2S and 2P. In third shell, what are the sub-energy levels? You can see three sub-energy levels. They are 3S, 3P and 3D. In fourth shell, 4S, 4P, 4D and 4F are present. In fifth shell, 5S, 5P, 5D, 5G also is present, but we don't need the G sub energy levels, so simply we omit that one. So I am again writing all those things here. I am clearing this one. One S, 2S, 2P, 3S, 3P, 3D, 4S, 4P, 4D, 4F. Take the fifth energy level. Fifth energy level contains S orbital, 5p orbitals, 5d orbital, 5f orbital, 5g also is there. But we don't need about that one. So I am not writing. Sixth shell, 6s, 6p, 6d, 6s. Like that we have to write. So now I am taking up to sixth shell. Then place a line diagonal. This line, beginning of this line shows the entering of electron. That means the first electron enters into 1s orbital. After completely filling up this ns orbital with electrons, then the next incoming electron will going to enter into 2s orbital. After completely filling up this orbital, 2s orbital with electrons, then the electron is going to enter into 2p orbital. After the completely filling of the orbitals with electrons, then the electron is going to enter into 3s orbital. After that, the electron is going to enter into 3p orbital. After that, 4s. Then, after completion of this 4s orbital with electrons, after completely filling of the 4s orbitals with electron, then again electron is enters into 3d orbital. After completely filling of the electron with 3d orbital, then electron going to enter into 4p. After that, 5s. Like this, electrons are enters into different orbitals. So this is the energy order. So least energy orbital is 1s orbital. Energy order of different orbitals. Energy order of different orbitals. Least energy orbital is 1s orbital. After that, low energy orbital is 2s. After that, 2p. After that, 3s. After that, 3p. After that, 4s. After that, 3d. After that, 4p. 5s. Like that. So this is the order of different. This is the energy order of different orbitals. Like that, you can write the energy order of different orbitals without doing the n plus l values. Without finding out the n plus l values. Okay.